Balloon Beats.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Live. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hennessy. Brian DeGennaro's back on live tonight, and we got Paraski Vizina Fontos looking a little bit different tonight. How are we doing tonight, boys?
Pretty good, thanks.
Brian, first of all, before we address any kind of Yankees news, because we finally do have news tonight, I think we need a little Brian update because we haven't seen you in a while. So how was your Thanksgiving? How's life? Give us a little update.
It was good. Quiet, It's weird this year, a little bit different, but still good.
Oh, time. Really?
A lot of food.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't have as many people, but
that's sad.
It's a good time still. A lot of
Brian
food.
Followed Cuomo's orders. Good boy, Brian.
There we go.
So let's get into the meat and potatoes of tonight. We finally got Yankee stuff going on. We got baseball stuff going on. There was a big trade in the NBA. Russell Westbrook to the Wizards for John Wall. My shirt just got a lot more pink. Did you guys see that?
Did it? I didn't see
No,
that.
it was pretty
It looks the same amount of pink.
No, all right. Well, my screen just got a lot more pink. But the Cubs non-tendered Kyle Schwarber. I consider that big news for the Yankees only because we've heard them being interested in Kyle Schwarber for as long as I could remember. Way back to even like 2015, I believe they were linked to him. Now I guess I'll give my input to start off. Do I think that this would be a smart move for the Yankees? Absolutely not. They do not need to add another poorly defensive outfielder and another guy who strikes out a bunch and hits a bunch of home runs. Now, if we're talking if this was like Michael Brantley style of hitting, sure, I'd love to bring him on the team. But no, I'm not a fan of bringing Kyle Schwarber to the Bronx.
Brian, you go.
Me?
I'm that
Brian
just
looks so excited.
I was really expecting Para to take that one. Sorry, guys.
Let me change my name because Para is usually the one in the waiting.
Para's gonna file for identity fraud.
Let's go back to OG Chef Alonso. Here we go.
All right, cool. Anyway, getting back into it. No, I think you're right. I think the Yankees really need to start, trying to get some more well-rounded hitters in the lineup as opposed to these, Judge and Stantons that just swing for the fences all the time and hit a lot of home runs, but strike out as a lot as well. That's one of the reasons that DJ LeMahieu has been so important to this offense is that he's the one that's getting on base. He's the one that's driving in run. So he's just trying to put the ball in play. Now, I think that you don't have to have a ton of those guys, but it'd be nice to have a couple more. So, I don't think that Schwarber is the best fit right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't have hated it if it was a guy that they got in the what was it, the Aroldis Chapman deal that they wanted him originally in. I know that they talked about Dan Vogelbach. They talked about Ian Happ in that deal, but they knew they wanted Glaber, but the surrounding pieces were in question. Ultimately, they didn't get him, but they've been talking about this guy, like you said, for almost 5-6. And while I agree with both of you, I don't think that he's necessarily a good fit. I could 100% see them going after him, signing him to like a 1-year deal or like a 1-year club option set for the second, just because I think, to me personally, what their priorities look like right now is that they want to get a lefty bat in the lineup. They want to get better at defense at shortstop, and hopefully somehow figure out a way to get cheap options in as far as pitching, whether that's bullpen or starting pitching. And I don't know if Schwarber is the best way to do that. You might want to get a guy who's a lefty hitter and also plays good defense, so you can knock out 2 birds in 1 stone.
Good defensive shortstop, right?
You know who is a good defensive left-handed shortstop? I'm just saying. Because
can we go
do
one
have,
episode without Lindor?
Listen,
one
I'm not going to say his name, but what I'm saying is, like, they have a logjam at a lot of positions. And are we sure that we want Kyle Schwarber starting over or platooning with Clint Frazier? Like, let Clint Frazier play left field. Let him take over the reins, because he's been a platoon for the past 3 years, and you see when he gets time to get going, he's good, and he flows a lot better in the offense rather than, okay, I'm sitting this day, I don't know when I'm going to start again. I'm questioning myself in the field. Give him the reins to left field. You pray that Judge stays healthy. You pray that Stanton stays healthy. You obviously don't know those guys, but I don't like the idea of signing a guy like Schwarber, because he's going to be your starting left fielder, and I'm not really too fond of that.
I'm a little bit disappointed because I like when we disagree on stuff, because it creates for solid ass content. I'm kind of disappointed that we all agreed on this, but maybe we could disagree on this. The Yankees non-tendered Jonathan Holder, not to get confused with Kyle Holder. Combination.
I disagree. I disagree.
You don't think it was a good idea, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was a good idea either. I don't think Holder was that bad, especially when you look at the Yankees bullpen. I mean, he's better than, like, I don't want to shit on Brooks Kriske, but, like, I'm using him as an example. Like, I'd prefer Holder over Kriske.
Also, how much was he really going to cost?
Exactly, bro. They brought back Ben Heller instead of Jonathan Holder. Like, we've seen Ben Heller once in like 4 years.
Yeah, unless they're literally bringing in, unless they have a trade lined up for a reliever and they needed to make room, or they're confident about getting a guy like Archie Bradley. The Dodgers just got Corey Knebel, so that's off the table. Yeah. I didn't mean to rhyme there; it just happens sometimes. But
as an artist, it just flows. Yeah.
But it's just like the Dodgers seem like we talk about this all the time, but like the Dodgers and the Astros, whenever they need something or want something, it's like, why not? Let's just get them. Don't ask questions. We'll worry about the salary and the fit later. But we have 6 starting pitchers who are competing for 5 spots. Let's go get another one. Let's go get David Price. Yeah. Like, they worry about those things later, and that's why they end up in. Exactly. Yeah. So like now he's coming back, and it's just like they always have depth. They always are willing to break open their banks, wallets, whatever you want to say, to make their team better. They did the same thing with Blake Trinan, which I think we all agreed Blake Trinan should have been a Yankee last year. Like, why not? You could get him for $5 million. Just like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll see what they do. I really think Archie Bradley is a really good fit though for this team in replace of Canely/Holder. Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%. And Ryan Garcia in the chat is going to love this, because I would have loved to have Trevor May replace Tommy Kahnle. I would have also loved Archie Bradley to replace Tommy Kahnle mid-season, considering that the Reds got him for absolutely nothing. And the Yankees knew going into the postseason they would only have like 3 reliable relievers. And the fact that they didn't even attempt to get Archie Bradley mid-season leads me to believe that they're not even going to be in on him this offseason either. So, like, I do not have my hopes up whatsoever for the Yankees acquiring, like, relief depth. Especially considering that they just released Holder. Doesn't really make sense in my eyes. I kind of want to look at the comments right now. I'm going to start with this one, only because I completely disagree with you, Chris. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But I don't think he's that bad is not a reason. Dorner?
It's a solid
think
last
so.
name if we're being honest. But
Glenn.
I think that's a valid reason to keep Holder because while he's not that bad, he's not the worst. There were other guys in that bullpen that didn't deserve a spot more than Jonathan Holder. I think he had a solid year too. Like if I could remember clearly, I don't think he was
I
that bad.
I don't remember him being a problem. And usually with
Yeah.
bullpens, that means he was decent.
Let me get some of the more fun comments here. We got Nick, hashtag Patrick316, hashtag Jay Alonso, hashtag warm. Do we have any warm cookies tonight, Jalen?
You know, I told everybody Thursday, tune in.
Thursday, you're gonna have the warm
And
cookies.
Thursday, tomorrow's December 3rd, 2020. It is trivia night. I am competing. I'm looking to dethrone Patrick Hennessy.
Shouldn't be too hard.
With my listen, man, this guy was on a roll. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro,
He was answering questions
back to back. Come on.
You're competing
Listen, I'm
against
coming in ready. Brian, you're gonna be there tomorrow?
No.
Oh, of course. No, because Brian choked. He had a 3-1 lead in the second episode, I think it was. And then he just gave up after that. It's all right, Brian. You'll get him next time.
Listen, it happens to the best of us, and I'm gonna avenge all of the unhinged fallen soldiers.
Oh God!
Can you highlight this comment? I think you know
which one. David Dahl.
Yankees. Yeah.
LA Yankee King wants the Yankees to get David Dahl, have him play left field, move Frazier to right field. Listen, Yankee King, we talked about this on Monday. I think it was Monday.
Right.
I do not think under any circumstances the Yankees should move Judge to first base. We went over this. I think we spent like 20 minutes addressing the fact that why the Yankees should move Judge to first base.
Referring to another human as Yankee King is kind of funny. But anyways.
Yankee King. I don't know what to call him.
No. But listen, moving Judge to first base, first of all, does not improve your infield defense whatsoever. If anything, it hurts your entire defense because you have arguably the best defensive right fielder being moved away from that position and a guy who's never played first base, maybe in like T-ball. So that would not improve your infield defense. David Dahl would be a cool, cute little get, but like I think he'd be a good Justin. His name is Justin, so Justin.
Justin.
I just don't think that moving Judge to first base would improve your defense. It would hurt your entire team.
I have a question for you, Jalen. What do you think about Lindor shaving? Is it a good look for him? Because I know he's your boy. I know you're best friends. I'm
not gonna lie. Me and him talked about this, and he was he was a little hesitant to post the pictures, but it was for a good cause. Because he knew it. No, I told him, listen, do whatever you think is right. Yeah. And then he reached out to his agent. And he was like, "Do I have to post these?" And he's like, "It would help a lot."
It was for a good cause. He's exactly a great guy. Yeah,
but he knew that it was going to stir up some controversy. People thinking he was going to go to the Yankees.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, no updates on that front. He was just posting it. He shaved because he did no shave November for the American Cancer Society.
Such a great guy. And, stand-up citizen. I mean,
absolutely.
You don't get more stand-up than Francisco Lindor.
The best.
But tonight's a very special night because Nick made a very bold sight, and that is the lights behind Brian match my shirt.
Wow.
It's a very pink kind of night.
Brian is giving me like super villain in the laboratory vibes right now.
No, he is. No, like what was that show with like the Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah.
You know, like the evil guy? Yeah, that's you, Brian.
Thank you.
Let's see. Brian wants Gardy back on a 10-year max deal. Is that true, Brian?
Absolutely.
There's rumors circulating that's what you're into.
When his knees no longer work, we'll make him manager.
Justin said that the outfield would be more athletic with Dahl, Hicks. Judge is one of the most athletic players in the MLB.
Yeah, I'm
not shitting on David Dahl. David Dahl's he's a good fielder.
No, I love him.
He's a nice player, and I think he would be a cool. If you're moving Clint Frazier for pitching, which I'm not completely opposed to because there's so many options now.
Yeah.
With the tender deadline passing, and a lot of guys were non-tendered. It's really actually opens up a lot of possibilities for the Yankees.
Yeah, but also, of course, the Dodgers already made a move. Like they got Corey Knebel. 2 seconds.
Ready to go.
2 seconds.
Brian Cashman is sleeping in the middle of Yankee Stadium on a cardboard box right
now. He's really helping out those homeless. Anthony Barker wants to know: is Gary Sanchez been on Tinder?
I think I know what he means, but I think we should answer what the question is for the value of what he typed. That's a little bit more interesting.
He means has he been on Tinder?
He's talking about the tender, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god! I didn't even think of that, bro. I'm thinking.
I'm like
swipe
pretty
card.
confident that's what he means, but
I'm thinking he means tendered. Yeah, no, he was tendered. Gary
also
Sanchez is on the Yankees.
don't think that Gary Sanchez has been on Tinder because
He just posted a picture with his girlfriend, right?
his girlfriend or his wife, whatever. Yeah.
Listen, if Gary Sanchez is on Tinder, we're breaking some news right now.
I'm not
serious.
Patrick's gonna go swiping away.
That is not my business. That is not my business. Gary,
Listen, Gary, do what you got to do, my guy.
just get right.
All
You know what I
you.
mean? Have
It's all
a
you.
few conversations with A-Rod. Do what you got to do.
Let's see. Chris has a concern about Voit having, I believe that's plantar fasciitis.
Fasciitis.
Nice.
There you
We
go.
saw- I know, right?
Good job.
I didn't mix it up with MLS and ALS. We saw what that did to Ellsbury and Cespedes. What is your level of concern regarding Voigt's plantar fasciitis?
You got it again. Wow.
I wouldn't say I'm that concerned, only because when Ellsbury got it, he was very relying on his speed and his feet and his outfield. And we saw even with Voit playing so hurt all season, he was still solid as hell. So I'm not that concerned about him moving forward.
Argue that Judge belongs in left.
We got some solid ass comments tonight, if we're being honest.
No, I like people's ideas. I think this is the beautiful thing about the offseason, especially when a deadline comes up. Like right now, the non-tender deadline comes up. A lot of people just start getting a lot of crazy ideas, but it's good because there's really no bad ideas because we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad that today was the biggest news day of the offseason so far,
and will be for probably another
3
3 weeks. But I don't think Judge is a left fielder. Right fielders generally have better arms, and left field is tougher to play at Yankee Stadium than right field is, especially for a guy like Judge, who has a lot of experience in right field, and left field has Death Valley, left center, 399. It's a lot more difficult.
You know, we're getting some quality comments tonight. Bro,
let's see.
Jake Dahl says my dad was named David Dahl, but not the baseball player. Jake, that's a quality comment. And so we got George Chamberlain, and we got Jake Dahl.
And
all we need
Dorr.
is Justin Judge or something.
And Jalen Dorr. Hello. Forgot about
Jake also says, "OMG, I just got that post on Tinder." What does that mean? Did he just see Gary Sanchez on Tinder? Did he swipe on Gary Sanchez on Tinder? Because now we're really breaking some news. Def would be interested in Schwarzenegger. Def would be interested in Schwarber.
I'd be interested in either, to be honest.
Listen, if we're talking about Arnold, I do see him being a fit for the Yankees. Big guy, probably hit a lot of home runs. Probably would strike out a ton too.
Where would you play him?
First base, probably. Luke Voigt type hitter.
I could see him as a pitcher, just coming in as a closer, really intimidating.
Ooh, I mean, he would have no control, but he would probably throw heat.
He doesn't need control. Neither does Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah. Let's see.
No, me straight. These comments are hilarious.
Listen, I don't know what kind of Tinder Gary Sanchez is on. Maybe he's making a girl profile. We don't know.
Unhinged after dark.
Joe Musgrove is my new homie, and he's on the trade market. So Ryan Garcia has now flipped from Trevor May, because he's now on the dark side, to Joe Musgrove. I wouldn't be opposed to Joe Musgrove. He seems like the typical
pass.
So you're swiping left.
I'm swiping left on Joe Musgrove, and here's why. This would be a cool little game.
It would be.
There's something MLB Network does.
Yeah.
I can see Mark DeRosa. Whatever. Anyways.
Easily. He's like, this guy's so attractive, bro.
I'm swiping all the way right on – what's this guy's name? I'm swiping all the way right on Joey Musgrove, and let me tell you why, okay?
I love
Joey
Mark
Musgrove.
DeRosa.
I know. I wish he was our manager.
He's the best.
I'm gonna start doing more Mark DeRosa impressions. I felt really honestly good doing that.
But do you guys remember? He interviewed for the Mets manager position. I think when they hired Callaway, like he's actually like in the hunt for manager positions.
No, he
I would
wants to
love him
be.
in the
He wants
Yankees.
to be a manager. No, okay, but let me just say this about Joe Musgrove really quickly. I wouldn't be opposed to him if he was in our rotation. The only problem is the Pirates are in a position where they are going to want king's ransom for whoever they trade, whether it's Josh Bell, Joe Musgrove, Adam Frazier, whoever, because I can't believe I just named 3 Pirates. That's really impressive. I'm not even gonna lie, but they're gonna want a king's ransom because they have gotten raided when they traded Chris. What's his name? Austin Meadows, Tyler Glasnow, and the other guy that they traded for Chris Archer. So you could arguably say that getting Joe Musgrove was like not worth it for what they traded for to give away Garrett Cole. It didn't really pan out the way they wanted to. Colin Moran was very below average, and so that trade didn't really work out too well for them either. So I think Joe Musgrove is going to be like they're going to try to cash in on this guy. Like they're gonna call the Yankees like, listen, we want Gleyber Torres. And the Yankees are going to have a difficult time talking like a lot further down from that to give them like Estevan Florio.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just can't stop thinking about Gary Sanchez on Tinder. But I actually agree with one thing LA Yankee King says, Justin. I don't want to come close to Kyle Schwarber because we don't need another guy to strike out 30% of the time.
Yeah.
Justin,
Amen.
round of applause.
Best
Best
take
comment so far. Let's go.
Completely agree.
Keep it coming.
Oh, there's a lot of comments you missed, Pat. There's a lot of good ones.
Is there? I think it was like during the whole laughing rant that I went on. Let's see.
Do I believe that Lindor is the best move Yankees can
Where's
make?
that?
Right under Joe Musgrove is my homie.
Joe Musgrove is my homie. Here we go. Since Lindor is your man, you believe he's the best move the Yankees can make, or would you rather have pitching?
I'd rather have pitching, but here's the thing: there's not the pitching that's available this offseason is not, unless you're obviously getting Trevor Bauer, which I would sign up. Trevor Bauer should be #1 target for the Yankees, but in being realistic, I don't think that that's what they're going to go after. Just because I don't think they're going to dish out that kind of money, and I don't think they are going to want to deal with Trevor Bauer's antics, if you want to even call it that. But Trevor Bauer aside, I don't think there's any pitchers out there that you could say, like, the Yankees are going to get this guy, and it's going to prevent them from bringing in a Lindor contract, which is, I think, $21 million. And then whatever extension happens after, you're already under the luxury tax. So it resets. So that contract next offseason is not going to affect you the way it would this offseason. So I think Lindor realistically is the best potential deal that they could make. But as time goes on, I'm really not too convinced that they're going to be in that market. We were talking about it earlier, and I really just think that the Yankees are just going to be like, listen, we're going to re-sign DJ, we're going to re-sign Gardy, we're going to get Tanaka on a 2-year deal, maybe sign one like random guy who throws hard and throw him in the back of our bullpen and call it an offseason and say we're healthy. This is our year. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. Yeah, and I think we've all as fans realized this formula that we have, whatever it is not working. Gleyber Torres at shortstop does not work. DJ LeMahieu being our only consistent hitter does not work. Aaron Judge being injured. Giancarlo Stanton being injured. Gary Sanchez being our catcher. Us only having one reliable pitcher in the playoffs.
Miguel Andujar left.
Bullpenning games. Our first baseman hitting on 1 foot. Like, it's just like, at what point are we going to say, okay, enough's enough. Let's cash in all our chips. We have Garrett Cole. We have Aaron Judge in the middle of his prime. We have Giancarlo Stanton in his 30s now. Like, let's push in all our chips. Let's go for it. But no, it's like, let's just pray that they all improve. Like, it doesn't
that's a good point. Like, the window's closing.
Right.
People don't seem to realize that, but it's closing. I mean, Stanton is only getting older. Cole's already 29 now. So you
30. He just turned 30. He just turned 30.
He's 30.
He's turned 30. So I mean, you gotta win a World Series soon. You know, you don't have forever anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly my thing. And I know we were speaking about this as a team before, and I don't want to call anybody out by name or organization at this point, but looking at all of the media outlets that cover the New York Yankees, I truly believe that we are the outlet that scrutinizes them the most. And I think it's well-deserved. If I'm unhappy with how I feel the organization is currently handling things, I'm not just going to sit back and be like, yeah, I think this roster is great, even though I don't think it is, just because I'm a fan of the team. I think fans of teams can voice their opinions, and if they're disgruntled about the way they feel things are being handled, I think that they have every right to do so. And as a media organization, I think it's only fair to cover the team without any bias. Because if you're looking from the outside in on the New York Yankees, you're looking at a team that has a roster that they have barely added depth to in years. Now, sure, you've gotten those big acquisitions like Garrett Cole, Giancarlo Stanton, DJ LeMahieu, but they just haven't been making the depth moves. And I don't feel like anyone is really calling them out on it. And they've just become complacent. They're not obsessed with winning anymore. I think that's obvious. And for people that are saying the window's not closing on this team, you're just being ignorant. And I think that's just the blatant truth, whether you want to admit it or not. This core, their window is winding down. Me and Jalen spoke about this before we went live. This was the Yankees' year to prove themselves, 2020. The Houston Astros were significantly weakened. They were the team that destroyed the Yankees in the postseason the past few years. Boston Red Sox, last place team we're looking at. I mean, the Orioles were actually better this year. So, yeah, Boston Red Sox, looking at a last place team, they were the ones that dominated us too the past few years. So the Yankees' biggest competition in the American League was the Tampa Bay Rays, a lineup that relies on G-Man Choi at cleanup, and they still couldn't win the American League in 2020. And that's what concerned me the most. And I think it's only fair we call them out on it.
Yeah,
Patrick Rant done.
That was good. I haven't had a good Patrick rant in a while.
I know, no, because you've been missing it, Brian. I did it on Monday too.
That was very calm rant. It was good though.
It was. You made some very good points. But I mean, it comes back to that mentality that Brian Cashman has, where he always says we want to win championships, not championship. But it's like they're never willing to go all in to win that championship, and that's the problem the last few years. We're always missing that piece. We're missing that spark or something, and it's just not there.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys.
I really think that they finally need to be called out on it. I'm tired of seeing all these articles written before the season. Like, I know for a fact personally, if we don't see, like, I don't even want that big move this offseason. I want a bunch of little moves that can kind of complete this team. Get me 2 mediocre bullpen arms, get me some depth for the bench so that when injuries do happen this year, because they're going to happen, this is the New York Yankees, our top guys get injured every single year. You're guaranteed a Hicks injury, you're guaranteed a Judge injury, and you're guaranteed a Stanton injury. So why don't we have depth to the point where in the middle of the season, we're not fielding a lineup of Tyler Wade, Thairo Estrada, Mike Talkman, who couldn't hit a ball out of a paper bag this season. Like, it's been absolutely brutal. And we had guys like Jonathan Loaizaga in big moments this postseason because there's just no depth moves being made. I don't care that we signed Garrett Cole. Obviously, it needs to happen, but you also need depth moves along with that.
I'm completely with you, but I think I disagree with. We disagreed earlier about what those depth moves looked like. Like, I don't think that Eddie Rosario is going to be a depth piece for us or Michael Brantley, just because I think they're going to be starters somewhere. But there's a lot of, like, because of this non-tender deadline and because so many free agents are now entering the pool, we could potentially have a guy like Tommy La Stella and then sign – I don't even know who got to non-tender today, but there's so many options, especially in the bullpen. And we talked about earlier, the Dodgers already jumped on Corey Knebel. They probably knew he was going to get non-tendered. They did their homework. They traded probably nothing for him, and now he's in their bullpen, and he can start his career over again, throws 100 miles an hour. Why don't we do that with Archie Bradley? Like, why is that not
I would love him.
Something like, I'm not saying it's not going to happen because we don't know, but, like, that's just – I can see them saying, like, yeah, he was just a little out of our price range. Like, we believe in Brooks Kriske and Nick Nelson. It's just like, all right, let's get a guy who's proven, who we know can deal, throws 98, and, you know, like, wants to win a championship.
It's what like rebuilding teams do. Like, the Yankees, like, they have this philosophy of, like, we want to compete, but, like, rebuild at the same time. And, like, yes, it worked in 2016 and 2017, but, like, Now you should just
But
be
it
going
didn't,
for
though.
it all.
But it didn't even work because we haven't won a championship since 2009.
Well,
So,
no,
like,
I mean it worked in the sense of like being able to deal Chapman, Miller, Beltran, and get in a hole.
I get you, but like my thing is like we're not that team where we need to trade off pieces and get hauls. Like we did that once in like the past, I don't maybe 30, 40 years where we got like we were sellers at the deadline, and yeah, sure, we won a few games after that, and it was like we called up some guys. They produced in 2017, but the 2017 didn't produce just because of rookie. Like that was a good team from top to bottom. They had a good bullpen. They had an all-star closer. Even a guy like Dylan Betances, who wasn't good at the end of that 2017 season, he was still in that bullpen. Like that wasn't just a random team that was like, oh my god, like the White Sox per se. Like you know what I mean, where guys just break out and look at us. We're in the ALCS Game 7. Like that was they had CC Sabathia still. They traded for David Robertson again. They got Todd Frazier. So like it wasn't. I don't call that a success because Clint Frazier still is not a starting left fielder. Justice Sheffield, he should be, but I'm just saying, like, look at what we got from that deadline realistically, right? Like, the one person we can say that was a staple from that deadline is Gleyber Torres. And that's a deal that we say that's Brian Cashman's probably his best trade ever because we re-signed Chapman. And Gleyber Torres looks like he's going to be an all-star or like a superstar. But Clint Frazier's not a starting left fielder yet. Justice Sheffield came and he went. We got James Paxton for 2 years, and it was like, okay, man, like we don't really, he's not really moving the needle for anybody. And then do we really remember the rest of the guys? Like Dylan Tate, I guess, got us Zach Britton, but that was part of a package. It was just like all these deals are not adding up to World Series wins, which at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and it comes from the organization prospect hooking for no reason. I mean, we mentioned Chance Adams all the time. I want to look at one of these comments here from Chris Dorner. Listen, what I'm trying to say, saying quality young arms. The quality young arms clearly aren't working. Like the Yankees, four went going after veteran relievers like Blake Trinan and Archie Bradley in exchange and believing in guys like Jonathan Loáisiga, Nick Nelson, and Brooks Kriske. That's not a smart idea for a team that's looking to win a championship. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not going to win games. I forgot what inning he pitched in the second game of the wild card series, but it was late in the game I believe is a one-run game. Jonathan Loáisiga came on the mound and he blew it. What inning was that?
Was that game 2 then like the 7th inning, no?
The 7th. I think it was the 7th. Under no circumstances should a guy like that be pitching in such a close game in the playoffs. Like I understand, like you want to help produce your young arms and whatnot, but like you need veteran relievers who can actually produce in those kind of situations. Like we're not a rebuilding team.
Yeah. At the same time, you kind of have to blame that a little bit on Ottavino because he's the veteran arm that should be stepping up in that situation, but they couldn't trust him at the end.
No, but that's my thing.
But they need more though. Like
they need more. But I'm saying like the only reason they had to rely on these young guys is because the guys that they got to be the veteran leaders in that bullpen weren't performing.
Yeah, and it's also the management of that bullpen was absolutely horrendous.
But that's the other thing is that there were so many opportunities like towards the end of the season, early in the playoffs, when they could have put Ottavino in and given him a chance to find his stuff again, and they didn't. They went with someone else, and then they never put him back in. You know?
So he could have never regained the trust. And then on top of that, yes, Ottavino should have stepped up, and he was the guy that we got. Canely went down with an injury, understandable. However, we looked at the past. I'll just say 2 trade deadlines because 2018 they did make a couple moves. We looked at the past 2 trade deadlines, knowing we got to both deadlines knowing we need something. In 2019, we looked at starting pitching. We were like, we need a starting pitcher bad. Like I don't know if you guys, you have to remember that Twins game where we won like 15 to 17 to whatever we won.
Yeah,
Aaron Hicks saved the game. No one seems to remember that game was terribly pitched by the Yankees. Like there was no good pitching in that game whatsoever. And I think Domingo Germán started that game and gave up like 6 runs. The bullpen was atrocious. And it was approaching the trade deadline. We were like, listen, we need a starting pitcher bad. Please go get somebody. And they didn't get anybody. And then you saw Trevor Bauer go to Trevor Bauer go to the
Reds.
You saw Zach Greinke go to the Astros, and it was just like,
Yeah.
at what point are we going to make that move? And then the same thing happened in
Stroman goes to the
2020.
Mets.
Stroman go to the Mets, and it was just like the same thing happened in 2020. We looked around, we said, okay, we know we lost Canely, we don't trust Ottavino anymore. When are we going to get that guy that we trust? Like, let's get one more guy at least, or one more starter, just so that we feel a little more comfortable. And it never came. And it was just like, we're going to sit back, we feel comfortable. And then look what happens in game 2 of the ALDS. That's a perfect spot where brutal. You could have had maybe like a Lance Lynn start in game 2 and give your team a chance to win. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly my thing. And it also goes back to bullpen management. The fact that Adam Ottavino didn't get working in the playoffs when the Yankees were up by a shit ton of runs, and Boone threw out Luis Sessa instead, who's actually been a good reliever for the Yankees, absolutely mind-boggling. And then you throw Ottavino out there in a very close game, which makes absolutely no sense. But there is one comment that I do want to highlight right now, and that is Nelson Espada. Hi, my friends from Puerto Rico.
I like where this is going.
Shout out to Nelson.
I like where this is going.
It gets better. We need Lindor to play for the Yankees.
Nelson.
I'm no conspiracy theorist, bro, but I'm linking Puerto Rico with Lindor. This might be Lindor's burner.
This could be. This could be.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I know Lindor's burner. However, I'm not gonna give it away. I'm not gonna confirm or deny if that's Lindor's burner. What I will say though is that this comment really excites me.
Yeah, I mean it gets better. As far as
the next one's the best one.
If the Yankees trade for Blake Snell and Francisco Lindor, they will be the next World Series champion.
It's that simple, Nelson.
Nelson for GM. Nelson for
Once
GM.
again, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but that may or may not be Francisco Lindor screaming for a trade.
It's a joint account. It's a joint account with Lindor and Snell.
And Snell, they're boys.
The Yankees are not trading for Blake Snell. That's the only thing. It's unfortunate.
Nick says, seems like hashtag J Lonzo became hashtag, I think he means Chef, but Chief Lonzo is actually pretty solid.
There's a good one.
You know what?
I like Chief Lonzo.
Is the I before the E?
Yep.
Yeah. I think I learned that in like
E before I. Never E before I except in pi. Is that what it is?
It's I before E except after C.
What about?
I've never heard
that before. What?
I learned that it's E before I except in pi, or E. Yeah. E before I except in pi.
That Florida education.
That doesn't make sense. I didn't get a Florida education. That's the New York City public school education.
Let's see. George says, well, I'm having hashtag warm brownies tonight if hashtag Lonzo's having warm cookies tomorrow.
George,
might have to make that happen. Great minds think alike, honestly.
Now I want brownies.
Let's see. Brian, of course you want cookies. Boone's got to learn to yank pitchers. No pun intended there. Yank pitchers. Good one. Nice one, Jeopardy.
Boone's got to learn how to do a lot of things. Boone doesn't know how to. I'm not going to get into all the things Boone does wrong because we'll be here.
We've ranted about him so much.
We can just talk about the things that he does right. It would take less time.
Let's do that. Let's actually go. Let's go around. Pat, you start. Brian, you go second. I'll go last. I'll say one thing to say. One nice thing about Boone.
Do you guys remember?
I go first.
Wait.
ALCS.
You know what this reminds me of? You remember in I forgot one of the presidential debates, they asked the candidates, they're like, can you say one thing nice about each other? That's exactly what this is right now.
No, yeah,
we got
I want to hear.
But listen, I got something nice to say about Aaron Boone.
I don't know if I do.
Here we go.
I do. I'm going to compliment him as a person. I think deep down in his heart, I think he has good intentions. I know he adopted a bunch of kids. I think he has 4 adopted kids. Therefore, I'm thinking he's a quality individual.
Is that true?
Yeah, no, he definitely has.
Can someone in chat fact check that, please?
No,
his family's huge.
Yeah, I'm not complimenting him as a manager, but I could compliment him as a person for adopting some kids in need.
That's very big of you.
Thank you. No one else has anything nice.
I already said my nice thing.
Oh yeah,
the 2003 LCS.
Yeah, it's the best thing about him.
I think Aaron Boone. I like the fact that he can relate to players because he was a player. So I think sometimes we question, should this guy have a day off? And he knows more than we do as far as if the guy needs a day or if a guy shouldn't be pitching. So I will say that I do get a little too hyped up over that because he's in the clubhouse with them and he was also a player, so he probably knows. Yeah, sometimes around August I get a little tired. Maybe our shortstop wants a day off. However, he's been known to give guys days off when they do not want them, and I'm really tired of that because we're trying to win. When you're trying to win a pennant, every game matters, right? And I know we're sick and tired of the Yankees. I'm not going to go into a whole rant, but we're sick and tired of the Yankees having the best record or in the AL or whatever it is, and not winning the World Series. But what happens is you don't allow guys to get into their rhythm when you constantly platoon guys and we're gonna schedule a day off for Judge and this that, and like we saw it in the end of this year when Judge and Stanton were coming back, and it was like we're gonna play Judge, then we're gonna sit Stanton, and then we're gonna sit Judge, and then play Stanton, and then we're gonna play them together, and then they're both gonna sit. It's like Giancarlo Stanton came back from injury and was going off. He had like 4 hits in his first 2 games, hit 2 home runs, whatever he did. And then Boone was like, yeah, we're just going to give him a scheduled day off. He feels great, but we just want to sit him. Like, we're a week away from the playoffs, dude. Let him get hot going into the playoffs. And whatever they did worked for Stan, but definitely didn't work for Judge because Judge shit the bed in the playoffs. Except like the 2 home runs that he hit or whatever it was, 3 home runs. It was like his only 3 hits. But it's just like, how do you schedule days off for grown-ass men? Like, let them work. Let them do what they get paid millions of dollars to do. Come to the ballpark. Most of the time, they're just fucking standing around like they would be doing in the dugout anyway. Like, how much energy are you actually exerting in a 9-inning baseball game? Let's be real. I played high-level baseball. I'm sure you guys played baseball, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro. I was a high school prodigy.
I'm not going to say it's not tiring and you can't get injured by playing every single day. Obviously, it's very tiring, especially standing in the sun and playing high-intensity baseball. But baseball is a game where you can play 162 games or at least close to it, especially if you're a fucking outfielder who is supposedly in the best shape of, a world-class athlete. And you basically, for 2 hours out of the 3 hours, you're standing on your feet like this, waiting for something to happen.
Bro, I hate bringing up money, but bro, if I was getting paid $30 million a year to stand in the outfield, I'd do it every damn day.
Willingly.
Like, I'd go out there willingly and do it. Like,
I would do it on one foot. I know it's easier for us to say because when guys get to the pros in any sport, it's like they're automatic royalty in their heads. And I think that kind of is like creating like this diva mentality, and social media is a big part in that. We make guys bigger.
But treating them like babies doesn't help that diva mentality.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you have guys like Stanton who, should be an absolute all-star and a complete superstar. I mean, but it's like, we're just not going to dare play him in the outfield, even though he's 29 in the best shape that he could possibly be in because he got injured a couple of times. It's like, if he's going to get injured, he's going to get injured. You see that. He's been DH for the past 2 years, and he's been injured more than he was when he was the left fielder. Think about it. He was the left fielder in 2018, and he played most of the year. He's been DH the past 2 years, and he's played like 6 games.
But that's a good point. That could actually play a part in the injury. I mean, if you think about it, instead of like running out to the outfield and then running back in at the very least once an inning, he's sitting on the bench for 3 innings, going up and then sprinting down to first base, going back, sitting on the bench for 3 innings, sprinting down to first base. Like your body you have to keep moving. You have to keep moving and stretching and stuff like that.
Do you hear this comment though? It's like running from left field to the dugout. Bro, how much of a distance is that? Like,
no, I'm saying
I'm not saying you. I'm talking about like we're talking about like world class athletes, and this is what like them playing the field would consist of. We're talking about like 30 feet of running for Giancarlo Stanton, and like, why can't this be done?
I think it's more the concern with baseball. It's a lot of standing still and then sprinting. And I think the concern is the more that he plays in the outfield, the more that he's going to be standing still and then sprinting, and they don't want him to like pull something.
That's what hitting is, though.
But exactly, that's what baseball is. Like, come on.
I think my 75-year-old uncle could do that.
Exactly.
They do.
I
It's
don't-
called men's league baseball, and they do it
Exactly.
every Sunday, and they are never hurt somehow magically.
That's what I'm saying.
But once you
Oh,
pay a
and
guy $25 million a year, it's like I genuinely hear some of these injuries, and I'm like, I know people that it's different because you're playing 162 games. I get it. However, you mean to tell me that guys can't play through some tightness in their thigh? Like, come on, man. Like,
Bro, look at Babe Ruth. Like, I've never seen someone more out of shape in my life. And the dude, like, sprinted. Like,
Those
come
those
on.
video clips were a little sped up. I'm not gonna lie.
Look at G-Man Choi. Bro, I'm
Doing
not
full splits.
knocking G-Man Choi, but the man's not in shape, like, by any means. But
He's
he's
in better
doing
shape
full
than you.
splits at first base. Like,
Well, I guess he is in
matters on the
shape.
player.
I guess he's in shape. If
No,
you
but
could do
by
a
the
full
look of
split,
him,
yeah,
if
no, I get you.
side by side, you got Giancarlo Stanton and G-Man Choi. You would think Giancarlo Stanton's more athletic, but the answer is
I would
G-Man
hope.
Choi any day of the week. It blows my mind. But Brian,
G-Man is more athletic than Carlos. And
I kind of have a surprise for you.
oh wow, I love surprises.
I want to match with you, Brian.
What? Can I? Do I need
You
to
got
leave, guys?
lights. Look at that.
Wait, Jalen, do you have light? Oh, here we go.
No.
Do you have pink?
Yes, let's go.
All right. Let's do
Why
this.
didn't we all have this on from the start? This is
We
awesome.
really should have. We really should have.
Can we do
Oh
like?
my god, we got some brutal comments.
I want to do the Pat. What does Pat do to? What do you do to do like?
Although I do party mode, like
I
for
don't have
trivia.
that. I have this.
Should we just all do party mode?
Yeah. Gary got re-signed. Whatever.
Yeah, Gary. Let's go, Gary.
What's Gary's birthday? It's
Gary's
birthday.
on Tinder.
Gary has an eventful day.
Gary's really had an eventful day.
Hashtag pink. Yo, Nick's hashtags really like inspiring.
Yeah, hashtag pink, inspiring. Little bit of a questionable comment from Ben Wilson. You guys ever watch Pink Floyd's Wizard of Oz on weed, man? Listen, not too sure what that means.
I think he means on weed, man. On weed, man.
Who's weed man? Are we talking about Gary Sanchez breaking more news? Not too sure. But do you think the Yankees will resign? We're back to earth now. Yeah, I think they will. Happy birthday, Gary.
Who's that? I've never seen this guy in our chat before.
Yeah, he's had some great comments too. We really got some great comments.
Yo, Pat, you missed the best comment of this entire stream.
Where?
I need to find it again. It's very far up.
We got All Star Boxing in the chat. Shout out to you, Nate Robinson.
I can't even find it anymore. I went on my phone and I commented and I said, "Go Pat, go."
Was that when I was ranting?
Yes.
That's way up.
That was like 7 minutes ago.
No, I see where it says "Go Pat, go."
There we go.
Solid ass comment. But yeah, I think it's gonna wrap things up for us tonight. Oh, Chris D in the chat. Yankee fucking baseball.
I can tell how this. I know how this guy sounds. I already know how this guy sounds. He's Yankees fucking baseball, right? Sign DJ fucking LeMahieu. Give me Francisco Lindor. Give me Trevor Bauer.
You
Let's
look like
go win
this
a
guy
fucking
that's on like
ring.
TikTok all the time. I forgot his name, but he talks like that and he just talks about random shit.
He
Quality.
said Bernie Williams. That's a new one.
Chief looks like Bernie Williams. If I
So
squint.
Robinson Cano and Bernie Williams. I need
All
to
right,
do one of those
wait.
things. Like,
I gotta squint.
pull up a picture of Bernie.
I don't see it.
No, I don't see it.
Pull up a picture. Pull up a picture of Bernie.
Let me get him. Should I get?
I need to do one of those. What's it called? Those like thing that fade like it morphs your face into someone else's.
Oh my
Like,
God. Do you want me to get him like when he was on the Yankees?
yeah, I don't think I look like him now. If I did, that would suck.
You nailed the New Yorker, by the way. According to George.
Thanks.
Wait, how do I get this on here?
I don't know. You're the guy that does that usually.
Yeah, that's true. Here we go. All right. So, what are we thinking?
Maybe in a few years. Not a few.
Yeah.
Hopefully, not a few.
Yeah, I can see it. Maybe isn't he Puerto Rican too?
He is Puerto Rican.
All right. You know,
But people tell me I look more Dominican because I'm black and Puerto Rican, and black Hispanics generally look more Dominican.
Are you
and
50% of each?
I'm not.
What are you more?
What do you mean?
Like, what are you more of?
Black or Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
I'm more black.
Oh, okay.
I'm black, Puerto Rican, and Chinese and French.
You're Chinese?
I am Chinese. On my mom's
What
side. My mom's Puerto Rican, Chinese, and French. And
Yo, you learn
my
something
dad's
new
black.
every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
I'll send you guys a
That's
picture
an
of like my
awesome
entire
conversation.
family. I know.
That's crazy.
I used to tell my brother. So me and my brother are different. Not to get into my whole biography, but me and my brother have different dads, and his dad is Italian. And so I used to tell girls I was Italian all the time, and then I believed it. I thought I was Italian because my brother's Italian, and then I learned that I wasn't. So
Were you disappointed?
I was like, "What do you
my
mean?"
whole life
We
a lie.
suck.
I told my brother that I guess I said it before, and then like he was like, "You're not Italian." I was like, "What do you mean?" Like this just changed everything.
Aw.
So sad.
But it's all right.
Before we do wrap things up tonight, I do want to add one more thing to the stream. Yo, Cano / Sosa love child. We're getting some.
Sammy Sosa.
I think so.
You guys just think I look like every brown baseball player ever.
I'm trying
Hey,
to combine
Sammy
the
Sosa's
two in
white
my
now.
head.
Sammy Sosa is
Sammy
white
Sosa's
now.
White now. He's white
Which
now.
Sammy Sosa do you think I look like?
Oh, Chris wants an Unhinged hat. Unhingedclothing.shop. Go purchase. Yo, this shirt's on there too. I believe it's $10.
Fucking Unhinged hat in my fucking mailbox by tomorrow. All right.
All right, are you guys ready for what I'm about to pull up? Because
hope so.
I'm not sure. I put it in the chat. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but Kyle Farnsworth wants to fight Jake Paul. Who are you guys taking in this matchup?
You go ahead, Brian. I'll say my take after.
I can definitely tell you that I'm not going to watch it.
You wouldn't watch, Kyle Farnsworth in a boxing ring.
Pat, I think you're like extremely overestimating the fame of Kyle Farnsworth.
Yes.
Nobody besides like Yankees and Rays fans know who Kyle Farnsworth is.
All right, but listen, it gets better though, bro. You go to the likes.
He liked it, didn't he?
Kyle
There it is.
Farnsworth liked my tweet. Round of applause for Kyle Farnsworth.
Hey, don't forget about Charlie Cap and James Rooney as well.
That's true. James Rooney's a quality guy. He likes all of our tweets.
There we go.
But listen, that kind of brings me to my last question of the night. If we're talking former Yankees in boxing fights, what two former Yankees would you want to watch face each other? Because I got my two right now.
Former Yankees.
I mean, we could do current. We could do current too.
All right, I'm gonna defer to Brian again because I need 2 minutes to think.
Aaron Judge and Ronald Torreyes.
What the? You just want to see Torres get demolished? You sick individual.
Wait, I got a better one. Brett Gardner and Jose Canseco.
Yo,
That would be really
ripped in half. Guaranteed.
Canseco's roid rage would go crazy.
All right. For me, I'm gonna go with. All right, now this one's really this one's really fucked up. But I'm gonna go with Ronald Torreyes against Albert Bell.
Oh, that's just like
It
that's
was-
sick. Actually, I'm thinking of like what would be an actual good boxing match. I have two, I think.
Give me Stanton versus Judge, bro.
No, they wouldn't. That'd be more of like a WWE match.
Like Brock Lesnar.
There's no way either of them have good hands.
Probably not. No, they're too big.
Mine would be Aaron Hicks versus Chase Headley. I think that would be a good boxing match.
Billy Butler, Brian McCann.
They're too big. Brian McCann's not like You're thinking of like that's like wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You said
sumo
box.
wrestling.
Sumo wrestling. Actually, you know what? Let's give me Jason Giambi versus Luke Voigt.
Oh my god. George Chamberlain wants a Yankee King, bro.
Let's set it up. Can we set up George Chamberlain versus LA Yankee King debate?
We might have to. Yeah,
I want to see that
moderate
so bad. We could just moderate. We'll ask them questions. We'll give them points. It'll be like a presidential debate, except less toxic,
Yeah.
and then became like, yeah.
Oh, Reggie Jackson versus Gardner. But like, I want Reggie Jackson in his prime. Not
You
now.
just want Gardner to go down.
I want Gardner to go down. Like
What a
Nate
shot.
Robinson style. Easy. Nate. Oh yeah, Eric Dames. That's a good pick.
He wasn't a Yankee, was he?
Well, no, but if we're just talking ML, because
Yeah.
whatever.
J-Hat versus Davey Garcia.
Oh my god. But yeah, I think it's gonna wrap things up for us tonight. You know, as usual, we went off on a little bit of tangents, but be sure to tune in tomorrow night, 9 p.m., same time as always, for Unhinged Trivia. Jalen, you're on that, right?
Yes, I'm trying to match Brian. Sorry, I don't know what he's.
Brian, what do you have? Green? Oh no, you
It
have.
keeps changing.
Yeah, but mine changes too quickly.
Should just put it on a color. Put it on green. Everyone go green.
Green's nice. Green's nice.
Save the environment, boys.
Go green, people.
Go green. Recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Learn that in the 4th grade, bro. Let's go. Tomorrow night, Unhinged Trivia, 9 p.m. Friday, we got Unhinged Live. We got content coming all off season. We're having so much fun. We're so excited, in the words of Brian. So be sure to like us and follow us on Facebook.
Like us,
YouTube.
just like us.
Just like me. Why don't you like me? But yeah, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, so you know when we go live whenever. Cervelli versus Altuve. We got a bunch of boxing matchups going on. Ellsbury.
CC, we forgot about CC.
Oh,
All right. Well,
CC versus the Rays.
yeah, CC versus the entire Rays and Astros organizations. But
Yeah.
what do you guys think we should end it with tonight?
Warm cookies. Oh, you don't
wasn't
know.
there a new one you had?
I do have a new one.
I want the new one. I want
right.
the last one that you showed.
the new
It was
one.
so bad.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do it with this. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody.
Issue because you can.
Who
take a chance.
is John Ford Griffin?
Some
Who
probably
who is
some
that?
name prospect.
Has
Let's look him
did
up
he
right
ever
now.
make it? Did he ever make